Morning. Now, all over the world, art can be counted on to bring people together irrespective of language and culture.
Now, it's safe to say that the expression of self through whatever medium will always find an audience to connect with it.
And that's, of course, why we dedicate our Thursdays to show and to celebrate people who are brave enough to express their innermost thoughts and fears through the medium of art in its various forms.
Hello and welcome. We're back and it's live right here at the TVC studios in Lagos for another beautiful artistic edition of Wake Up Nigeria.
That's what Thursday is all about. Now, as always, the biggest thoughts we have of you and your viewing pleasure, of course, we look to having you here. So that's always what is in our mind, how to make this a wonderful experience for you.
1 hour, 45 minutes till the top. We are going to be doing what we can to help you get ready for the rest of your day.
All right, so MM is also here. MM, how are you doing? Good morning.
Good morning, Mike Masicano. How are you doing? And Titi, of course. Yes, with me is Chef P. Say hello.
Hello.
Yeah, he's new with us, but hey, don't worry. He'll get a hang of things later on. But hey, guys, how are you all doing? Thanks for joining us this morning. Yes, you watching at home.
You know, a wise man once said that new chefs are always generous.
Yes, so
I'm looking forward to that one now. My name is Mike Masicano.
And I'm Titi So that chef is about to throw down. But hey, if you don't want to miss a thing, just visit tvcentertainment.tv. That's our website. And of course, facebook.com/TVC Connect if you want to watch us live.
All right, you can hit us up. It's on GOTV channel 27 and on the ultra high frequency. That's talking about the terrestrial band 49.
We have on our tech discussion today, Toby Ali. We're going to be discussing insights on building a tech business. He's an entrepreneur, he's a business management consultant, and he began his career in tech as an analyst. He's the founder of Jawo, a fintech app that allows users to generate passive income without requiring technical knowledge. Yeah, so there's loads happening all over.
There's loads. I mean, I just traced my genealogy.
So who and what?
I just found out that, okay, it's about where, it's not who. It's about the location. I just found out that I am 67.38% American. That's not all. Then I am 21.96% Canadian. So if you mix the two, but there's still African in there, but I just traced it.
Wow.
Since we're all tracing, you can trace your genealogy. You are confirmed 100% Calabar girl.
So talking about
100%
genealogies and
100%. That's what you are.
Canada just has its first black city councillor.
You see?
And he's a Nigerian.
You see?
He's actually a very good friend. Ayo Owoduni.
Are you serious?
Right, yeah. I mean, I remember when he was contesting and, he was, trying to garner votes here and there. I kept on wondering if he was crazy because, I mean, he and his family relocated to Canada like a few years ago. And, for him to have done
He relocated?
feats, yes.
I mean that I have the Canadian blood.
Yeah, still here.
Ayo. No. Ayo knows. We are working on it together. Ayo, well done. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
For that feat. It's a lot happening, and I think I like it that when it comes to race, people are being more inclusive. People, let's tend not to look at people on the color of the skin, but know that we all bleed red under the skin.
You know, it's interesting the amount of people that are in Canada now that are from Nigeria. It was about time that they started taking over.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Hopefully, the weather is not going to take over your day.
My name is Mike Masicano. APC presidential candidate Bola Tinubu is bringing the message of renewed hope closer to the electorates. This became evident when support groups in Abuja argued that part of Mr. Tinubu's appeal is his ability to adapt to the necessities of the moment. Habida Lawal reports.
The 2019 elections marked several milestones in Nigeria's political history. It was the 20th anniversary of Nigeria's Fourth Republic. It was also the second time a president was re-elected for a second term and a reaffirmation of the All Progressives Congress emergence as Nigeria's ruling party. But above all, by 2019, Nigeria had officially spent more time under democratically elected leaders than under military rule. For supporters of the APC presidential candidate, They are convinced that no other candidate is more capable of being president of Nigeria come 2023. The Tinubu Shatima Student Vanguard is taking its campaign to school campuses across the country.
Informing Nigerian students, educating them, telling them the reason why they must support Bola Ahmed Tinubu because they have done it in the past. And may I also tell you, there is a virus on our campuses. We have a lot of our students who unknowingly have joined a movement of certainty, joining it without knowing the end of that movement. It is high time for us. It's one of the responsibilities that we want to take on our shoulder to tell our friends and colleagues that this is time for us to open our eyes.
We are the leaders among the followers.
Another support group is organizing a football tournament in all 774 local government areas in Nigeria, taking the message of renewed hope to the people.
The tournament tag Ashwaju Youth Cup, and this tournament is for the empowerment of youth in soccer talent. And the way we want to go about it is we want to select players from each local government of every state.
While INEC continues to roll out its guidelines, many believe the 2023 election will be a race along generational, ethnic and religious lines. Habida Lawal, TVC News, Abuja.
And then outside Nigeria, still in Africa, Burkina Faso has launched a drive to recruit 50,000 civilian defense volunteers to help the army fight jihadists. That's according to the commander of the Brigade of Vigilance and Patriotic Defense, Colonel Bukari Zongorana. These massive recruitments are in addition to a one-time recruitment campaign of 3,000 soldiers to bolster the ranks of the army in the fight against jihadists. These campaigns come after a September 30 coup led by Captain Ibrahim Traore, whose stated aim is to strengthen the anti-jihadist fight. At least 10 soldiers were killed and about 50 wounded Monday in a terrorist attack in Djibo, a town under jihadist blockade for 3 months in northern Burkina.
People, you're still tuned in to Wake Up Nigeria. It is time for us to go through the front pages of the newspaper. We'll be starting with The Punch, making the headlines here. 2023, Lagos, Kaduna, Rivers, Kano voters top INEC register. 2.7 million illegal registrants deleted. 23 registration officers under sanction. INEC to display register from November 12 to November 25. 6 corporation. Above the masthead here we have flooding. Experts warn of epidemic as corpses float. DSS arrests terror suspects. U.S. evacuates non-emergency staff. And CBN plans Naira redesign to counter counterfeiting in kidnapping. And finally, EFCC rearraigns suspended AGF over 109 billion Naira fraud. And that's all we can take on the Punch newspaper. Let's move over to Daily Trust. Making the headlines here, excuse me, why CBN will redesign currency notes. On the riders here says over 85% of currency in circulation outside banks. EFCC commends initiative to clamp down on hoarders. Experts, corrupt politicians keep money in dollars. Decision good for economy. And on the masthead here we have federal government says America also unsafe as U.S. orders evacuation of citizens from Nigeria. National Courier, government operators disagree over partnership with Ethiopian Airlines. And IDB expresses concern over high number of out-of-school children in the north. And that's all we can take on the front pages this morning.
Welcome back.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of talk and possibly not enough action regarding the situation of the flooding all over the country in Nigeria. And there is a level of, the only word I can think about is is hypocrisy around the situation, because if it was another country, if it was, say, maybe the UK or Australia, we would have seen people going out with hashtags, pray for UK or pray for Australia, but I've not seen a pray for Nigeria hashtag come out with regards this flooding situation in Nigeria.
Maybe we're tired of praying.
Well, tired of praying, well, hey, that's all about the individual,
and,
but it's such a serious situation, and I just feel like not a lot of people are talking about it.
It is. One of the worst hit is Bayelsa State, and the reason why we even have data on what's happening in Bayelsa State is because some international media organizations went there. You know, it's even hard, and of course we have been also there, but then it means that there's quite a lot. Now this is sad because there are 8 local governments in Bayelsa, and 7 of them are submerged. The reports have it here that over 700,000 people have been displaced.
Displaced.
Wow.
You have over, according to some reports here, over 600 dead.
612 as at this morning.
Over 600, yeah.
According to reports.
You know, so
and then you have over 2.5 million Nigerians that are currently affected by this flooding. And now we are in the ember months. The price of food items are going up.
It was already going to go up anyway.
Yeah, but then you have rice. A bag of rice is now sold at 47,000 naira, according to reports. And also, you know, based on, you know, a few investigations that have been ongoing. And then a few people have also said that you have gone to the market to check the prices of some of these
when last
things.
did you buy rice?
So I usually buy a bag of rice earlier in the year.
Okay,
because
how much did you buy
I know
the last
at the
time you
time
bought
I
it?
bought it was about 28,500.
When last did you buy rice? How much did you buy it?
So I'm not a big fan of rice.
Okay.
I don't buy it as regularly as the average person,
you do.
and I don't buy it in the quantity people buy.
Exactly.
Now.
I think that's also the same thing for me. I don't buy in that quantity because I don't want to store for too long.
No, it's
so I buy in smaller
the
buckets
bucket.
and all of that. And because, I'm trying to reduce starch and all that. So I don't have, but then, like you said, 28 much earlier in the year.
Yeah, and
the last time someone told me was 35. That was some few weeks back, 35,000.
A few days ago, it was about 47,000.
So,
so this raises food security concerns. It raises health risk concerns because, according to reports, the health minister is already speculating that because of the corpses that are being found on the water, it poses health risk because those people that have been displaced and, you know, that have been affected by this are having to use the flood water to cook, to drink, to, you know, basically, you know, cater to themselves and fend for their needs. So it is really sad, and it's very, very alarming that at this rate or at the point that at which we are right now, the government is still not doing anything. So yes, relief materials have been sent, but is that enough?
You see, there's something you have to understand. It's already too late to do anything.
Yeah. It's climate
already
change.
too
This
late.
is climate change.
No, it's not climate.
It's not climate change. It's not
This is
climate
already
change.
too late.
Yes, it's not climate
You see,
change.
the most that can happen now is to let it run its course. There's nothing that can be done. You see, these kind of things are preempted. You are proactive. You see, someone always mentions something about thinking negatively and thinking of failure.
Sure.
For you to be a success, you have to think negatively. When this happens, what if this happens? If something can go wrong, it will definitely go wrong. There's still the talk with Cameroon, and they are all like, okay, they informed us that they were going to release the dams, and then there's talk that we didn't respond.
Yes.
And then there's talk of, oh, no, they didn't inform us in time. Oh, they released it, and then they informed us. How can this be happening? We have dams being released, and that is why the flood level is. I mean, look at so someone put a video for Idumota yesterday, Eko Idumota, you know, and then in the islands. And then there was this message that came up that when the government has sent a flood alert to 8 regions. Yes, when they do, someone's asking that what do you want the citizens to do? They can move out. That's what you can do.
That's the least you can do.
That's the least, yes, that's the most you can move out of those areas or find higher ground. You can move out, or you should move out. Not that you can move out. And then the question was, what do they want the citizens to do? When it comes to these kind of issues, there's little the citizens can do except take cover. We have to plan for the next one.
Which is why I pinpoint climate change. There's so many all over the world. There are summits, there are panels talking about climate change, and it feels like we've never actually truly considered the implications of climate change on our environment. We have major water bodies in Nigeria. You know, we have major rivers in Nigeria. Should the water levels rise more permanently, what exactly is going to happen?
So
for this number of people to have passed away because of the floodwaters and the number of people being displaced, how come there's no state of emergency even being declared? You know, I'm just a little on the fence as to why.
It's nature, and like we said, these were issues of dams, and there's almost DC. Where do you want to route the water to? You didn't plan for the place ahead. Is it during the water you now want to dig trenches and reroute the water? You can't.
Yes, you can't.
You can't.
Yeah.
The most is this to move people to somewhere else. That is what can happen now. So we're talking about relief efforts. Apart from materials being sent to them, efforts are moving them out. That is the only thing that can be done now.
So I think
what we can do now is to plan ahead.
Yes, the government really now needs to set up displaced camps where you can move people to, especially now that there are, you know, reports of some of the places being submerged in water. This is a very, very sad incident, and I really pray for the people who are you know, caught up in this incident. I mean, that's the only thing we can do right now. Pray for Nigeria and pray for us as well. We have to go on a quick break now. People, let us know your thoughts on the flooding so far. If you have been affected, maybe you could also share a word of prayer or send out a prayer to, you know, those who have been involved. We'll take a quick break.
Yes, now something tasty is about to go down. Am I right?
Yeah, you're right.
I'm right?
You're right.
Okay, he is ready. He's ready to show us what he's got. This is Chef Peace, and Chef Peace has come to show us his spicy pepper pasta.
Yeah.
Let's talk about ingredients. Can you tell me what we have here?
Yeah, this is cut Titus fish, diced for the wet garnish of the rice. This is chicken breast. While this is shrimps we have over here, and calamari.
Shrimps.
This is penne pasta.
Penne pasta?
Penne pasta, yeah.
Shrimps, calamari?
Shrimps are calamari.
Okay, so I can see chicken here
this
too.
is chicken chest we have here. We dice it up. And while this is garlic and ginger. While this is Maggi flavor, chicken flavor.
Okay, this is crayfish?
This is crayfish, yeah.
Fantastic. So you have a pepper mix here.
This is a pepper mix over here.
How did you put this pepper mix together? Did you make it yourself?
We are making it by myself, just to make it easy for the creamy pepper pasta. So that's what I use for it.
Is it hot?
Well, it's not hot, it's still very cold now. By the time I start mixing it, you will see it getting hot now.
So when I say hot, I mean pepper hot. Is it good to?
It's good to be, it's very, very, very spicy and hot.
Okay, fantastic. So everything I'm seeing here looks tasty already. By the time you combine everything, I know we're gonna have an amazing meal. You've pre-boiled or parboiled some things here?
The basmati rice and the penne pasta.
Basmati rice and penne pasta.
Yeah.
How long did you put this to boil for?
Well, within 10 minutes, it's already been prepared.
Okay, all right.
10 minutes.
Okay, so if I go to the market and I'm looking out for shrimps and calamari, what should I be looking out for?
You will go for the same shrimps. That is the name you will go for. Okay. And when you get to the market, you need like a baby calamari. This is what we call baby calamari, then shrimps.
Is there a particular color I'm looking for, you know? How do I know it's fresh?
Well, the way you can see it here right now, being white, have a little black on his body to tell you that it's still very, very fresh. But once it's getting changed, as you can see there, it will change color, into that brown. That wish you will not like, you will know that it's getting spoiled already. But as you can see it here right now, it's still very, very fresh, as much as you can see by yourself.
So this is straight from the water. This wasn't in the freezer.
Well, it's still from the freezer for now because it's been refrigerated all this while.
Okay.
It has been removed from the water.
Okay.
So refrigerated there.
It looks extremely fresh, I have to say.
It's still very, very fresh.
That calamari is so white.
That's why when you go for the penne pasta, you go to fill it, you know that, yes, we have something good, nice over there.
Okay, so we've done a lot of prepping. You've parboiled, pre-boiled, cleaned, and cut. What is the first thing we need to do now?
All I need to do now is just to add my groundnut oil.
Okay.
To prep it up.
Groundnut oil. Yeah. Do you have the oil standing by here? Ready? Okay. All right. So we're going to put the oil in, and that's the list of ingredients. You can start. Okay. You can start pouring the oil in the pan while I tell everyone what we're making today. Okay. Beef, garlic, carrots, ginger, some very fresh shrimp, turmeric, calamari, sesame oil, which I can't wait to get the aroma there, sweet corn, red pepper, basmati rice. Now, basmati rice is a very, very nice option for those who don't like the very heavy long grain rice. We also have white pepper, green pepper, spring onions, chicken breasts, and powdered chicken flavor seasoning. All right, so we have the vegetable oil going in now. And of course, we have also the sesame oil also going to go in, I believe. And as soon as that happens, everything begins to come alive. I can see a lot of other things here. I can see some fish here, some fried fish and some fried meat pieces as well. That might not be on the list. But basically, anything you have in the fridge that maybe you weren't planning to use anytime soon, you can just bring them out and see if you can make your own version of this special rice or special pasta. Okay, so I was going to ask, Chef, having both rice and pasta together, it just makes it feel like there's a lot going on here. Not many people would eat rice and pasta together, if you get my point. Right?
It's not everybody that would like that pasta and the rice together, so it just become different. It depends on the choice they'll stick for. But I believe most people like this creamy pepper pasta.
Okay.
So,
but you also have rice as an option.
I have a rice option here, which is Lagos fries, special fried rice.
Okay, so which one are we doing right now? Are we doing the rice first?
I'm going for the pasta right now.
Pasta right now.
That first,
okay, first. And then after that, we can manage the rice. So what's that at the bottom there?
Yeah, these jumbo prawns we have over here.
Ooh.
Not just here, see. So
goodness
this
me.
is jumbo.
You really prepared for us today.
That's also I should come
now
over here.
What?
Go to feel it. At least will be to make sure they patronize me.
Wow, whoa. Okay, so those, let's just take a quick look at those jumbos. Beautiful, marinated jumbo prawns there. In fact, today is going to be special. Thank you so much, Chef Peace from Lagos Fries.
Lagos Fry, yeah.
I love it, love it, love it. We have Mike and Toby standing by. There's a tech discussion coming your way.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Shegun. Hi, Alima. Hey, come on. Yeah, we're looking forward, of course, to what Lagos Fries does. Their wonderful job there you're doing in the kitchen, TC. Now, we have tech this morning. We're going to round up the discussion we've had so far this month on building a tech business. Now, we have Toby Ali, who is an entrepreneur, business management consultant, who started his career as a tech analyst, a co-founder of Jawo, a fintech app. And today we're talking about raising funding for your tech startup. That's how we're rounding up. We've spoken about modalities, how to go about it, how to build a tech business, what to look for. Now, you've done all of that and money, that's the next thing. It's a big capital intensive. Like you told us, you've done this, you've spent, but you've lost money trying to put this all together. So you are in a position to tell us how one can raise money, and not just only raise money, how not to lose it, because you've lost. So that means you have the experience.
Yeah,
so let's get into it.
Yeah, so
how does one raise money?
Yeah, so
for such a startup.
So the first thing I would like to say is, when people say, "Oh, I would have loved to do this idea, I'd have loved to start this tech business. I've tested it out, but I don't have money." The truth is that before you think of raising money, you first and foremost need to look at yourself. Now, I think I need to say this. No one is going to put in any money into something that you've not put in money yourself.
Ha!
So let me say that again. No one is going to put, or let me put it this way, no one is going to put substantial amount of money into any venture that you yourself are not fully invested in. So the first thing you need to do is, sometimes, even some things in tech, is not just about money. When we are saying capital, it doesn't have to be money. What are the things you need? So you might need to first and foremost get the necessary skill. So the skill in terms of tech, do you want to use a no-coded, non-code applications to be able to build? If you can do that, do you even have some money that you've saved? Or do you even have some experience that you can trade to get maybe some people to do some work for you? That's the way you need to think about it first. Because the truth is this, there is something for a tech business that you must build before you can even raise money through some other means I've mentioned. There's something called an MVP, which is a minimum valuable product. And for you to really say you're a tech business, or for you to even get funding from VCs or from banks or anywhere, you need to create that MVP. And that MVP, it's either you are building it yourself, or like I mentioned last week, you partner with somebody who has areas, who is experienced in the areas of coding, back end, front end, then you guys build it together. Now, once you have been able to build, once you'll be able to raise that money yourself, or it's your own talent that you are using, because sometimes, think of it this way, if for instance you are a full stack developer and you found an area where, there's big business, you don't necessarily need money. You can use your skills, your expertise. You can, instead of you paying somebody, you can do that. The things you just be paying for might be little things like server and other stuff like that. So once you have explored that route and you have like an MVP, then you have family and friends. This is the truth of the matter. And I need to say this. Your network, yes, your network, like they say, is your network is your net worth. If you don't have family and friends that you can raise money from first, the truth is, for you to get money from VCs is not as easy as people think. There's a lot going on right now in the tech space. You hear this one raise 4 million, you hear this one raise 6 million.
Yeah.
They forget that those guys who raised 5 million, 6 million, $1 million, they didn't just raise it like that. They were angel investors that first helped them. Some of them have even bootstrapped. You know what bootstrapping is? Meaning that they have been paying their bills, they have been paying for all these things for years before VCs came in. Because there are even some VCs which are venture capitalists. Capitalists. There are even some that will not put any money in any startup that at least somebody else has not invested. Either an angel investor, which can be a family or friend, or somebody who your friend maybe introduced you to. So people need to understand that looking out for that $4 million raise, $1 million raise, it doesn't just come.
It doesn't just come that way.
You need to first and foremost put in your own money. You need to also put in your own time and effort. Get money from family and friends before you start thinking venture.
Wonderful. I like this. You've gotten this money. You've done all of this. You've tried family, friends. You've hustled.
Yes.
Let's say that you've put this in. You've invested of yourself, your resources, capital, and all that. How do you not lose this money?
Well,
because yes. How do you not lose this money?
So this is the thing. The truth of the matter is that whether it's investing or whether it's building a business, there's no way you are not going to lose money. There are things you are going to lose money on. But the smart thing you need to understand, for a business, for instance, startups need serious funding. Sometimes I laugh at some of these stuff I see on TV, without mentioning their names, where somebody is trying to sell his equity or his stake for 10 million. If you want to really build a startup that will house like 1 million people, that money is too small. You need serious money. But the way in which, in quotes, you minimize your losses is the business itself must have something called a viable business model. There has to be something in the business that, even though it's taking in a lot of money by staffing and other things, there has to be something that is bringing in more money into the business than what you are spending. Because the truth about it is this: you will spend money on advertisements. Some of those advertisements will not work. You will spend money on team members. Some of those team members might not stay long. In quote, you might think you've lost the money, but if there is something that, if that your business is really raking in money, if you have a very good business model, then in the long run, because startups themselves don't even start making money immediately, it will take some time. You might lose money, but after a while, you begin to gain money, especially when you have a lot of users, and your business, of course, is paying.
Wonderful. We have to round up. Your final words on startup, raising money and all of that. Your final words. What is the final word to somebody out there who wants to start up a tech business, and how they go about it? Just your final words to someone out there.
So what I would say is this: if you're an African, this is the best time to be alive. There are so many problems that we have in Africa. And if you are able to solve those problems, if problems in Nigeria are very similar to the problems in Kenya, if you are able to solve those problems and build a business around it, in the next 10 years, you'll be on Forbes. So if there's a time for people to really get into tech, this is the time. There are a lot of things that you can start first in Africa. Just know that it's going to take time. It's going to take expertise. You are going to need to be a lion. You are going to need to be rugged. You start some things, it might fail. Keep at it. And I hope to see you even on a program like this, and even to see a lot of their startups that are rising, from Africa.
Toby Ali, it is always a pleasure having you here on our different segments. And of course, this month I was also able to pick something, and I hope you out there be able to pick it up. Thank you so much
for having me.
All right, that's it. Hope you're able to pick something there. Africa, this is our time. We can go out there, and like you said, in 10 years, we'll just see you at Forbes 30 under 30 or 40 under 40. Maybe they might move to 50 under 50. Or, well, it never ends. That's all that we can take on tech this morning. We'll take a time out now. Don't go anywhere. There's more to come on the show.
This is one of the most colorful kitchens I've had in a while. We have Chef Peace here from Lagos Fries, and he's been frying up a storm. So he's put in the baby calamari and the prawns. and he added some of the pepper mix. Not all of it, mind you, just a little bit. And what were you about to do just now when I stopped you?
That is the pasta. The
Okay.
pasta I want to pour inside there.
So the pasta is going in now. So this pasta is penne pasta. It was parboiled earlier on, so it's partially cooked already. And I know that we didn't actually show everyone the cream, the cooking cream that you had on standby. So this cooking cream, why are we using cream exactly?
Well, that's why we call it pepper creamy pasta.
Okay.
And that creamy must be there.
Okay.
So that's why we call it creamy pasta.
Okay.
That was what we always use it for the creamy pasta.
So this was in a packet. You can get this in a supermarket. Yes. Am I right?
Yeah, it's from supermarket.
Okay. So just 1 cup of cream is going to go in there.
Still use small tool of this.
Okay. All right. Fantastic. We have this king prawn also standing by, looking very, very nice. While you're cooking, tell me, what did you use to spice the king prawn?
The king prawns, we have green curry, dill, and garlic and ginger. We used to marinate it. Then Maggi flavor.
Okay.
Chicken flavor Maggi. And while we have other white pepper.
Okay.
Sesame oil.
Fantastic.
So that's what we have on the jumbo prawns.
So that has already changed the way that pasta looks already. Looks like it's going to taste amazing. There's prawns in there, there's calamari in there, and the pasta and the chicken breasts. Amazing, amazing. We also have quite a lot of vegetables here as well. We have big bell peppers, green and red. And we have onions. When are we introducing these?
Yeah, the onions, I'm using it for the Lagos special fried rice.
Fantastic. All right. So there's still more to come, everyone. There's still more to come. Don't forget the list of ingredients we gave you earlier on. Just get all your proteins nice and ready. Get some fresh vegetables, some spice, chicken spice. Don't forget the garlic and ginger mix and some crayfish as well. All right. Fantastic. So now we're waiting for this to sizzle. And as colorful as all this is, there's more color coming your way. It's time for art display.
Welcome. Thank you so much. So much happening there in the kitchen city. I envy you. Yes, just so you know. Yes, we are over for some art display. And with me is visual artist Oluseyi Oyenukon. And of course, you know, it's every Thursday we do this with our artists who come in the studio to, you know, display some of their pieces. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Yeah, thanks for being here. And yes, you have some very interesting artwork, art pieces. And right. Quickly tell us, how long have you been doing this?
Well, see, I've been doing this since I was a child. Since I was born, I've been doing this.
Wow.
You know, from the primary school to the secondary to the higher institution. So I've been doing this.
And then how lucrative is it?
Yeah, very, very lucrative. Very,
okay.
very.
All right, let's just get right into it.
Yes,
I see the Makoko depiction there. You want to tell us quickly about that?
Yeah, that Makoko is also called it's a seascape.
Seascape.
Yeah, that's a painting of a sea environment.
Okay.
You know, and at the same time, it can also be called an impressionist painting.
Okay.
You know, where you use color to express. You know, so that's just it. And
did you have to go to Makoko to, you know, do this, or you was just like, you know, a visual representation, something you just saw, and you decided to, you know, put it into?
Most of the time we get pictures and we use them for reference if you cannot go there. But it's a different feeling you are going to get if you go there. So, and a different feeling you are going to get. And as an artist, you can play with any style you really want. You know, a morning scene you can turn into evening scene. Evening scene you can turn into afternoon scene. And there you can change you can play with the color. A blue building you can turn into red and all that. So that's just. All right,
great. Now I love that right there on the screen. That's another representation of the Makoko. We just saw that over there. We're coming back to it. Now let's quickly move over to the next piece. Yes, I like that one. It's like an amalgamation of the 3 major tribes here in Nigeria. I love it. A women representation of the 3 tribes.
Yes.
You want to tell us about that quickly?
Yes, over there we have the Hausa, we have the Igbo, and we have the Yoruba. So that inspiration came when we had an exhibition. You know, we usually have this exhibition once in a year in Lagos.
Okay, what's the exhibition about?
The exhibition is about professional artists in Nigeria.
Oh, okay.
So we have here in Lagos, you know, we have the state chapter, and we also have the national chapter.
Okay.
So I'm a member of the Lagos State chapter.
Okay.
And the name of the society is called Society of Nigerian Artists, where we have the academics, we have the performing, you know, studio artists, you know, so, and other professional artists.
All right, so what inspired this painting?
So I think sometime, you know, they gave us a team to work with, and the team is national transformation.
Oh.
So, and I began to think, I said, how can I imbibe this team into painting? So it comes to me that I should put together the 3 tribes that we have in Nigeria, which is, most time people call it Wasobia, you know. So I said, okay, this team, national transformation, you know, let me bring the 3 tribes together. So that's a representation of Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa, just to unite them, you know, and it's called amalgamation.
Amalgamation.
Yes.
It's quite a beautiful art piece.
Yes.
This got my attention the most.
Wow.
Yes, it's very intriguing.
Yeah.
There's something captivating about it.
Yeah.
Tell us quickly. First off, I noticed that it's not like the regular artworks you have over there.
Yeah.
You used, what did you use in creating this piece?
Yeah,
it's important for everyone to capture this.
Wow. This
Please,
is called
tell us.
this is called waste to wealth.
Waste to wealth. Okay.
You know, in the street of Lagos, you see a lot of waste, and even beyond Lagos, in everywhere you go, you see waste. People just drink water and they throw it
on the floor.
People drink
canned drinks.
Canned drinks, so they just throw it on the floor. So I started picking the canned drinks.
Oh, okay.
So over there, you can see a reflection of malt can, Star, you know,
well, we
Guinness.
can't mention brands. We can't mention brands, but
yes,
you used
different brands of, you know, of whistle, and I recycle them.
Okay.
You know, I cut them open, flat, into pieces.
Okay.
You know, we have some into pieces, you know, and I use them as the background, just to, you know, to form a mosaic, you know, at the background. Then later, there is this method I usually use, you know, it's called coiling method.
Coiling method.
Coiling method. So that's what you can see, the pieces over there, you know, in a bit.
How long did it take for you to create
to do this? This took about 2 to 3 months.
2 to 3 months?
Yes, to do this, yes.
Wow.
It took about 2 to 3 months, yes.
Is this your first waste to wealth piece?
Yes, this is my first waste to wealth piece.
Wow.
Because when I was in the university, so I had to write, we write projects, and my literally project is, I wrote on somebody that has been doing this, you know, as my case study. Okay. And it's called Rocky Bashon.
Yeah, so quickly, talking about that, who are your inspirations in the, art world?
Yeah, there are so much. I have Baba Bruce Onobrapea.
Okay.
You know, I have some of my lecturer, Dr. Bolaji Ogunwo.
Okay.
You know, I have Mr. Ken, you know, from Aushi School, and I have a lot of them. You know,
so many of them.
There are just so many. Right. There are just so many. I can't
okay, so where do you? What's next for you? You know.
Okay. Yes, right now I think come this weekend, Sunday, I have an exhibition, you know, of the Society of Nigerian Artists. We are all professional artists in Lagos. We put our works together for display, and it's going to showcase somewhere at a gallery in Antony.
I guess this is one of your art pieces that would definitely be showcasing.
Yes,
at
this
the
one is going to be shown there, and amongst other other. And I have other ones like this, you know. I think I've done about 2 other ones. You know, I'm just, you know, making a kind of a research and, you know, just to create my own pattern and all that. And it has been fun.
Great work, and well done. You are doing a fantastic work here. You know, using your gifts. You know, this is really interesting.
Thank you.
Well
Pleasure.
done.
Yeah.
All right.
It's been 1 hour of excitement, magic, some beautiful art pieces, and food. Yeah.
I know you love that part they call food.
Yes.
But today, I am not entirely enthusiastic about the food.
Really?
Yeah, you should know why.
Why?
I'm not so much a fan of seafood. You know that?
I think he's going to make you change your mind.
So there's snail. I do snail a lot. There's fish. But when I start hearing calamari.
Wow.
Oh, like,
are you kidding?
I'm not used to all that kind of
You should
thing.
already know, Titi, that Mike is not bougie. Yeah.
I didn't say I'm not bougie. I'm not used to that.
What calamari is, we've had it before. Mike, there's nothing wrong with calamari, actually. It's very nice.
Look. My Canadian and American genealogy will speak otherwise to that bougie part you said.
Wow.
But hey, come on. It's great to be here. We've had 1 hour and 45 minutes to go. My name is Mike Mexican.
And I'm Titi Laya Oyinson. You can stream the show live on tvcentertainment.tv. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We're also on facebook.com/TVC Connect.
All right, you can hit us up. It's on GOTV channel 27 and on the ultra high frequency band terrestrial channel 49.
We have a conversation coming your way very soon. The King of Soul, Afro Soul singer, legendary Sunni, is going to be here with us shortly.
Legendary Sunny in the house. Let's talk about that wonderful performance you just gave us here. What's it titled? Talk to us about that song.
The song is called Falling.
Falling, yeah?
Featuring Mr. 2K.
Okay, what inspired the song? Talk to me about it.
I'm a huge believer of love, and Falling is just a way to interpret that very beautiful understanding called love. You meet somebody who just gets you completely, and then you just fall head over heels for this person. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about your music. It's, how do I put it now, yeah? How was, in this age of Tumban and all of that, you know, the whole vibes and all of that, how has the acceptance of your music, how has it been with the public? Let me not just put it at Nigeria, because now we have streaming, so your music is available to the global community. How would you rate the acceptance of your style of music?
So far, it's been beautiful, actually. It's been beautiful because at the end of the day, there are different genres for different people. You just need to be able to find your target audience, find the right audience for your music.
Where's that target audience?
They are here in this country, actually. Yes, it's just that most people, we genuinely just like to follow the crowd. But the truth is that when there is real content, there's real music, you see the right set of people come out still to embrace the sound.
No, you know, there's that balance between being who you are, giving people what they want, in quotes. We've seen some artists who would defer to a particular style of music, and then later on, maybe after a few albums, you see them say, this was not me, I gave you what you wanted, now this is the real me. Does that kind of strategy, does that work?
Because, you know, the music is also a business.
Exactly. Now, that part.
As a smart business person, you need to know how to blend properly into your market. Because while we're trying to pursue passion, we're also trying to make money through this music.
Exactly.
So, but while trying to make money, you try to not deviate so much from who you really are. Because at the end of the day, some people get it all mixed up.
And then it's hard to identify.
Yes, it's hard to come back or identify, or rather, the audience have accepted you for what you've given. Do you understand? So, but I am trying to create a certain kind of energy where there is a proper balance between accepting the market and also being who I am.
Okay, let's talk about your musical journey. How did it start? How have you gotten to the stage where you are now?
Well, this is my decade and 5 in the music industry, and so far it's not been easy, that I will say for sure, but it's been a beautiful journey. It's been a beautiful journey because music for me is more like an extension of life itself.
You always do this, whether there's money in it or not, you'd always do music.
Yes, music is something that is a part of me. It's how I understand life as it is, and of course, growing up, the business part of it came in because we got job.
Exactly. Has that affected the evolution of your music? There has to be some sort of evolution, because for you to have been in music for so long, you would not sound the same way you sounded when you started.
Yeah, because I have to be very honest. I have to be very honest. I've gotten to some places where they be like, you sound good, your music is nice and everything, but I've received a lot of buts. You get? So this also teaches you, gives you a level of experience to understand how to wade through the music market. And I believe who I am now is a better version. I've not been changed or transformed into a different genre, but a better version of who I am and what the society needs from me.
How has streaming helped your music as a business? I mean, now, you know, when you started, it wasn't like this with streaming. You know, you'd have to probably sell physical copies of your CDs.
Actually.
And then there was the issue of piracy and all of that. But now, it's easier for you to drop out of music, and almost at once you start getting, you know, your royalties and all of that. How has streaming affected the music as it is?
Well,
Looking at when you started and how it is now.
We thank God for the evolution of technology. We thank God for how much it has affected or influenced the music business. Streaming is one very beautiful way to empower entertainers. Before, it was way harder because you have to go the extra mile, do a lot of offline movement and everything. But now you can just, from the comfort of your home, make cool cash just by streaming through the right platforms and pushing out your content the right way.
The right way.
So it's making things easier. But at the same time, it's not easy because it monetizes every single thing that we have to do. So the more you need, the more you have to put into it. You get? Back in those days, it was mostly about talent. Now it's more about strategic publicity.
Strategic, all right, I like that. We'll round up with this. What can your fans look forward to from legendary Sonny?
Yeah,
what can they expect?
Based on what you've actually said, this is where the whole thing changes for me, because I'm putting on my debut EP for the first time.
After over a decade, yeah? That's interesting.
I'm putting my first EP for the first time, and it's something that has a whole different aspects, like the word hybrid. That's the name of the EP.
Okay.
And you know, hybrid being putting together different components to form something really unique. They're going to be receiving different parts of legendary Sonny on this project to change that monopolized understanding about probably he's just a soul artist. There is so much more from legendary Sonny that he can actually offer.
All right, definitely. I know your fans and all lovers of your kind of music, and even new converts will be looking forward to this one to see what you have.
Thank you so much.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
Okay, let's feel a bit of your music.
Thanks for staying with us. It is time for our book chat segment. And of course, with us is Feintola Daniels. She is the author of To Leave or to Cleave. You're welcome.
Thank you so very much.
Now, quickly, let's talk about the inspiration behind the book, To Leave or to Cleave.
Okay. So, as a marriage counselor, I've been working with a lot of couples. But throughout last year, most of the couples I worked with, it was issues of domestic violence. And then it triggered something in me. And then I'm like, okay, so what do we do? We should begin to educate people to leave. And not just to leave, what should they do after they leave? You know, and how do they start off afresh? How do they pick up their children? You know, if their children is involved and all of that. You know, all of those things were the reason why. And you will see that in the news, at least once, one story, you will find out that there's a story of domestic violence. So what is really happening? We're not saying that people should be afraid of marriage. We're not saying that it's not possible to have a happy home. We're just saying that when you find yourself in that mix, it is better that you save your life and that of your children. So that's why I
went and
put that together.
Great. Now, the first chapter, what is the worst that can happen? I mean, that just gets your attention because, I mean, there were a few things that you noted here, which is fear, fear for the individual and fear of what people will say. Can you elaborate more on that?
Okay. So most of the times, a lot of victims have stayed in their marriages and relationships because of what the society will say. Someone said, if I come out of it, people would not give me positions again, maybe church, mosques, religious organization, or people would not want to relate with me. We've had friends. I'll say, no, I don't want her to stay with my husband. I can't leave them together because she's single. You know, all of those things. And then you don't want your children to mix with them because you feel there's this thinking that since there's no father or mother to take care of them, they would probably not grow up healthy. I mean, psychologically, they will not grow up to be a healthy child. So that home is from, I mean, that child is from a dysfunctional home, you know. But the thing still remains that those fears, yes, people would say, but are they valid enough for you to suffer yourself? Are they valid enough to allow your children to go through the pain of abuse?
Yeah, exactly.
People would always say, and there's another chapter there that also addresses the society.
Yes,
but,
I was coming
to that. I wouldn't get there now.
Yeah.
These fears are there, but they should not override your own self. The most important person in that relationship, in that marriage, is you.
Great.
And that of your children.
Now let's move over to, still hinging on the fear of the society. Here you talked about society, myths, and mystery. And there was something here that you said that got my attention. It's a closer look into the perspective of the society, how it mirrors abuse and people who live in a defenseless denial. And it also highlighted the 4 victims of abuse here. The abused, the family members of the abused, the society, and the abuser.
Yes.
Tell us more on that.
Okay, so the first victim is the abused, because she's at the center, or he is at the center, because we know now that a lot of men are being abused as well, right? But it is underreported, so so we know now that this person or the abuse is at the center of it. She's the one going through the pain. She's the one being inflicted with the pain, right? So it's evident, And then sometimes it's not just physical abuse. We have the emotional one that because there is no wound, so a lot of people hardly believe that you're being abused. How do you tell people that you're emotionally abused?
Okay, quickly, let's highlight some of the myths that you mentioned here. For someone watching right now who's, listening keenly, tell us, what some of the myths that you highlighted here in the book? Kindly, mention some of them.
Okay, so one of them is the fear of the society. Another one is fear of starting afresh. You would always get back on your feet. It may take a while. It may not be where you want to be. It may not be how you envisage your life to be. But the thing is, you will get back on your feet. Another one is my children will end up bad. Sometimes if
from a broken home or even be broken.
Someone had told me before that most people from broken home end up having broken home. It is true. But if we are...
Is it true?
Okay, let me explain. So the thing is, if you're intentional about it, about breaking the circle, it won't happen to you.
Okay.
But if you just, coming out of a broken home, you're wounded, you saw your father beat your mother or vice versa, and then the pain of it, you're carrying it all around, you didn't say it, you didn't see a therapist, you didn't work on it, all of those things, there's a sense of guilt. Probably it's because I came into the picture. There's a sense of bitterness. Maybe all men are like that. Or there's a sense of anxiety, all of those things. So if you keep walking around like that, you're not normal. Right? You need to talk to somebody. You need to let out that pain.
Yeah.
But if you do not, there's a way that abuse is transgenerational. You would always continue the circle.
Say, hurts people.
Exactly.
Great. What about the men?
Exactly.
I particularly liked this particular chapter because you also, men do not talk about this domestic abuse they face because, you're a man. Why would you allow a woman bully you? We live in a society where men are seen to be strong and fierce and are always in control. So quickly touch on that before we wrap this up.
All right. So these days, we have seen a lot of men come out. They're not keeping quiet anymore, although not at the rate at which we expect them to. So a lot of men have also come out to say that they've been abused, and it's evident. Sometimes it's emotional abuse. Maybe the wife is not beating them, but she's saying words that, to hurt them and all of that. So all these men that have come forward were saying that they should also speak up and get help. Don't just carry it around, out of ego that I can handle it. I'm a man, I don't need to talk to somebody. All of those things. That pain is there. Was saying that, men, you feel this pain too. And if you do not heal from it, there's tendency that you would find yourself in a similar situation or you end up abusing another person.
Yes, and
you will
that's
start taking it out on other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, we see it every day, road rage in the office environment.
Exactly.
We see it. It's just there. Thank you so much for this. I mean, this is quite an insightful read, and I recommend it for, you know, I think every married couple really. Because
every married couple and a member of the society
and members
as well.
of the society.
Because I'm so sorry, I wanted to say this, that as a member of the society, how do we relate with people that come out of abusive relationship and marriages?
Yes, you need to read this book. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, and that's it on our books chat segment.
And finally, joining us for a chat are two amazing performance poets. The first of which is one of Nigeria's leading, in fact, Nigeria's leading, why am I saying one of which? Nigeria's leading performance poet, Efe Paul Azino. He's the director of the International Poetry Festival for Lagos. And he's come here with a bright star. That's the first thing that comes to mind when I think of Omar Musa. He's a Bornean Australian rapper, poet, author, and visual artist from Australia. He's released 4 poetry books and 4 hip-hop records. It's a pleasure having you right here on the couch.
Thank you very much, Titi. It's such a pleasure to be here.
Efe Paul, my oga, my boss. I've known you for quite a long time.
Yeah.
It's going into probably a decade now.
Yeah.
When spoken word became a thing, it was probably most likely because of you. Yes, it became a thing. It became popular. It became acceptable. It became something people could consume. Now there is a whole festival that you direct. Give us a little insight into how it's been so far.
Yeah, I mean, I think the scene has really grown as a result of many things. As a result, first, of the sheer talents of the young Nigerians who are coming up now, who are bold, who are widely creative in their many expressions, and also just the evolution of technology as well, and how that has been able to connect writers and poets from across, you know, different places, you know, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa and across the world. Yeah. So I think the community has really grown in the last 10 years, and it's on the back of that we decided to form the festival, because we thought there was a growing interest, you know, particularly for young people in poetry, in spoken word. Yeah. So initially what we wanted to do was run a series of workshops, you know, to be able to build capacity and then run a few conversations, do a few performances, and we were like, you know what, let's just run a festival. And then we started this wahala. But it's grown. It's 8 years down the line, and it's been an amazing journey. Really.
8 years. Today's theme, or rather this year's theme, is
Babel, a new language.
Babel,
a new language.
Okay.
Yeah. And the idea of that is we're centering the mother tongue in not just in literature, but also in education as well, because we feel that if young people particularly were able to access knowledge through their mother tongue, we open them up to a world of possibilities. But for many people, they have to learn through an imposed language, which is not their first language, and I think, in a sense, it precludes them from, you know, from accessing depths of knowledge that they can. So we wanted to, you know, sort of put a spotlight on that.
So poetry, rap, music, they're all forms of expression. Omar Musa here. You're from Borneo and Australia?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Australia, but I have deep roots in Borneo, the 4th largest island in the world, shared by Indonesia and Malaysia. Amazing. My father's from there. He was a poet as well. And actually my grandmother, even though she didn't learn how to read or write, she is also well known as a poet for being able to spontaneously create poems, especially at weddings or celebrations or something like that. Very famous in her tribe, the Kadayan people. And so I feel like I come from a long line of poets.
You must have something deep-rooted to have put together 4 poetry books, one of which is with me here, Killanova.
Yeah.
So something interesting about this book, if people get to go and check it out online, is there's a lot of artwork in there, meaning that you have so many different media for your expression.
Yeah, that's right. I like to create a sense of borderlessness when it comes to my art. I like to dance in between different forms and not restrict myself or be put into boxes, because I think people often try to essentialize our identities, whether it be ethnically or religiously, but also in terms of our art. And so it's kind of almost a political statement with these types of cross-pollinated art forms.
Cross-pollination, but then also crossing borders, crossing countries, crossing continents.
Yeah.
You came to Africa to share your poetry. Did you feel at any point that there were going to be maybe groups of people who couldn't understand what you were trying to say?
I'm not sure yet. That's the challenge, you know.
Okay.
I'm so excited to be here, and that's one of the most thrilling things when it comes to my poetry, is to see whether you can connect with people with these words that you've crafted in very private moments, and then you're out there in the big wide world trying to connect. But I do truly believe that poetry is not just a language of words, but also a language of feeling and spirit. And so I'm bringing that spirit, and I hope that I can share it with everyone at the Poetry Festival.
I'm actually really excited about that myself, because Paul, you've brought in a lot of international poets to come and be part of this festival. This is post-COVID. A lot of people were not traveling during that time, 2020, 2021. It felt like there was a lull in it, but did it still happen last year?
Yes, it did.
It did?
Yes, it
Okay.
did. Yes, it did. But we're back with our first full in-person edition, you know, since COVID, and we're very excited about that, and people are very excited about that as well, to be out again, you know, in the world, and to be able to make these connections, you know, with the space that the festival provides for that is very exciting, and we're really looking forward to it.
There's some kind of competition, so I think of rap battles as competitions, but you have something else going on with
yes,
poetry.
we have a poetry slam, which we started.
Poetry slam?
A poetry slam, yes.
Oh, wow.
Which is pretty much, you know, poetry's equivalent of a rap battle, you know, in a sense.
Okay.
And it's poets going head to head. You have 3 rounds, 15 poets that come up on stage. There's a judge, there's an audience, and it's just like words and fire and, you know, and all that.
Okay.
And it's very good. It's a very good way to get young people engaged in the art form.
Okay.
And there's 1 million naira up for grabs as well, so there's some economic value.
Woo!
So yeah.
1 million naira is on the table.
Yeah, winner takes all.
Okay, so there's a poetry slam.
Words on the dance floor.
I love that energy, because in the end, somehow it's... so poetry was never really considered cool.
Right.
It was never considered hip. But by the way, you guys need to start preparing. You're going to throw down here before you...
Okay.
You know that. But bringing in young people into the poetry space, don't you think there are a lot of distractions out there? Do you think it's going to work, truly?
Yes, there are. But I think it's also, you know, about, you know, taking poetry to the theater of distractions as well, to where people are, you know, to their mobile phones. And the interesting thing about the performance aspect of poetry and spoken word, it's been able to make it cool again, to take it off the page, to bring it to a live audience, you know, and to connect to people in a way, you know, where, you know, and I think the way we were taught poetry in school, and for many people, when they think of poetry, they think of these difficult subjects, you know, they had to agonize over, you know, to pass their exams, you know, but then with poetry on the stage, you get to see it in a different light, you know, it's more direct, it connects a bit more, so.
Is it the same in the international space with young poets now? Are you seeing more and more come out, or
Definitely,
is it reducing?
And it's changed a lot since I came into the scene, because there definitely was this feeling that it was cool, that it was uncool, that it was dusty, that it was pretentious, but I never had that view of poetry, because the way my father spoke about it in Malaysia and Indonesia was that poetry was at its best when it was performed and lived and breathed and embodied. So I was always looking for a form like that. But growing up, I didn't see it until I saw hip-hop music, and then I got into that. And then later on with the spoken word and the slams, more in like the mid-2000s, then it really brought it to life. And there's been this huge sea change, and a lot of people of different backgrounds who normally weren't part of poetry. Like when I first started doing it in Australia, I was usually the only brown guy that was there. It was very, very white. Now it's, you know, there are so many people with different backgrounds doing poetry.
So what do you think we could learn from the international community here in Africa about bringing young people into poetry?
I feel like it would be very arrogant of me, having only been here a day, to comment on that. But I'm so excited. Actually, I come with a different spirit, and that's not of course I want to connect and impart some of my words, but actually I'm here to learn and to listen, and I think, I know that I'm going to learn a lot.
All right. Someone that got a standing ovation at TEDx Australia is asking, you say you want to learn. I can't wait for that to happen. So do you have any, you know, monologues that you can give us? Who's going to go first?
I feel like you should take the stage first.
I'm retired.
You're retired? All right, let's give the guest the first opportunity. Camera 3 is your camera right there. You want to take a look and then give us some
Okay,
bars?
sure. I'll do something nice and short.
Okay.
I'd forgotten how it felt sipping from the bottle at the bottom of the shelf. Every cell was a coffin or a cell, felt rotten to the core at the bottom of the well. Nightmares every day up in this dream world. Like many, I grew up in between worlds, Asian and white, country and city, Muslim and secular, fight 'em or fly. My parents educated. I grew up in the queue with friends who never made it. My nation never catered to black and brown kids, made us ill-fated. I try to take my privilege and give you something sacred. I'm not a saint, made a lot of mistakes. I used to wake in a foreign cityscape with the sheikhs. Every day, heating up the dinner plate, chop a baggie of white lies and say grace. Now I make a white flag from a pillowcase, tear a self-eulogy up and make a ticker tape. Throw it like confetti, sail and steer steady. Fire in my belly, I'm ready. Are you ready? Lagos, are you ready?
Whoa! That was amazing. That was amazing. I feel like we're having our own poetry slam here. If it Paul, you can't allow this.
Give him the money.
No, you can't allow this to happen. He came to our country. Let us represent. No pressure. No pressure.
A lot of pressure.
No, never.
Do you want to take one? You want to take a few lines?
I'll try.
All right. That's
Just
your
a few
challenge
lines.
there.
All right.
That's you.
We come from dust and fire, a civilization dancing on water and washing its hands in oil. Our technology once commanded groundnuts to the skies, heaven blessing our offerings in 1,000 tongues. We're a nation conceived and promised, a dancing rainbow carried by the currents of the Niger, the stories of poets and the trumpets of rebels. Our greatness has never been in doubt, and we still know how to call wetness from drought. Travel the length and breadth of the country and you'll see us. Our mothers staring down terrorists in the northeast and our fathers rebuilding dreams from the mothers of hope. You will find us in Benue planting for the future. Our songs have traveled from the lips of just to the hips of the world, and our women reversing single stories are writing us back into history. It'll be a mistake to ignore us. The ideas of our young people taking flight in Lagos on the wings of technology, connecting the false hopes of yesterday to a cloud of dreams in ones and zeros, a graffiti of new beginnings eclipsing the old. We who built the second largest film industry in the world from Tales by Moonlight. Imagine what we have done. The lifeboats of survival we have spawned from our threadbare existence. Creative hubs in Yaba, made in Nigeria ambitions in Aba. Imagine what we do. We who invent new worlds in Europe and spread knowledge from America to Canada, doctors and engineers, artists and lawyers, conquering the world in every sphere. Imagine what we could do here. With the leadership invested in calling the magic of our dreams to life. Creative hubs waiting to be manifested in Kano. Dreams in Aba. And that's what we can do. So tell them when they ask that long after the oil wells run dry, we'll still be here, resilient with hope, lungs filled with possibilities waiting to breathe the new nation into being. Watch us build a country made of stardust and gold. We're stardust and gold, and we come from every tribe, daring you to believe in the audacity of our dreams.
Woo! Woo! Alrighty then. Now, Chef Peace has been hard at work in the kitchen here. He's given us some creamy pasta, some special Lagos fries, fried rice, and so many other little things all put together here. We appreciate you, Chef Peace. Thank you so much. All right, guys, please begin. Have a taste and tell us what you think.
Delicious. Do I have time to try this one?
Go ahead, go ahead. If it Paul?
I'm on familiar terrain.
He's on familiar terrain, and that's how we wrap it up with this tasty, tasty meal from Chef Peace of Lagos Fries. We appreciate you, each and every one of you, for being on the show, and of course staying with us throughout from 7 a.m. We're gonna be back again tomorrow morning from 7. Make it a date with us, y'all. Bye.